This is Days of Thunder. As a child,
Literally a hive mind. Yeah.
this is probably my most watched film. Yeah, Tom Cruise, Aussie Nicole Kidman. You're kidding. I loved all the car scenes, obviously. There was like a bit of romance as well, which as a young kid, you know, it's always.
Like, motherfuckers, think about the one time that they said, like, oh, have a, enjoy your meal. And then they turn around to the waiter and said, you enjoy your meal too, or whatever the fuck. They think about that for the rest of their lives. Meanwhile, they turn around and tell me like, oh, don't read the negative comments, guy. Yeah, I'll just fucking avoid literally a sea of people that are just like shitting on whatever the fuck I'm trying to do.
He's moving very aggressively.
Stop playing peekaboo around his rear view mirror. I thought you boys would have had enough of that by now. I'm not doing anything like that, Harry.
Pause it here. So yeah, like we do talk to our, like we call it race engineer, but it's like that level of conversation
Has raid.
It's a little theatrical, but we will go back and forth a bit, but it's more like a few words at a time. They're conversating. You definitely like push the boundaries sometimes, and if you're going kind of back and forth with a driver through the race, and if you feel he's kind of pushed the limits with you and been a bit dirty, then if you get a chance to like repay the favor, you might squeeze him. And yeah, there's like little subtle ways you can do it, which the drivers know exactly what's going on. It doesn't happen to that extent, at least in F1. I'll push the limit, but I'll never put another driver in danger, because I think that's just that respect that you have for one another.
If bumper gets any looser, Rowdy, they're gonna black flag you. Let them go by.
Stop right there. So black flag is basically you've done something dirty, illegal, something like really wrong, and a black flag is a signal that you have to come in the pits and your race is over. So they're basically disqualifying you from the race if you get a black flag. It hasn't happened in any race I don't think I've been in. Normally, like, and at this level, you would expect the drivers to, it's a bit more like uneducated, you know, like, but by the time you make it professional, you shouldn't be doing stuff that's giving you a black flag. So, I mean, shame on Rowdy Burns, right? Shame on him.
He's waving me by, but take him on the high side.
Great music. Yeah, I mean, Tom falls for it. Rewind, please. I've seen in NASCAR, it happens a bit, so a lot of the time the driver will signal, if he's got someone right up his bumper, he might signal like, I'm coming in the pits. And it just, I guess, avoids the risk, because he has to start slowing down at some point, and it gives the driver behind an opportunity to move out before he starts slowing down, so he doesn't probably run in the back and have a crash. So I guess that's a bit of like a safety / courtesy thing for both of them. But in F1, no, we can't, like, you wouldn't be able to see the other guy's hands in the car, just the way the cars are designed and built. I mean, I've given guys the finger before, whether they've seen it. They normally see it after the fact on TV. I enjoy that. It gives me a rush. He's got more horsepower than everyone else. The way he's able to obviously like pass the back markers effortlessly. So back markers, just the guys more towards the back. Like they should all have very similar cars as far as horsepower goes and power output. So how he's able to like come through so easily, that's very dramatized.
There's a crash coming out of turn 4, Cole.
It's going to leave a mark. Normally, especially in NASCAR, they have spotters. So if there's an accident, they'll say, okay, stay high, car low. So they'll give them a bit of guidance through an incident to try and basically get them to avoid it. They're like another pair of eyes for them. And so there was no information there. And then also Cole, very, very brave, actually went on the throttle. So he accelerated through the danger, which I think is something you normally wouldn't do. But because he is the hero in this story, it was a very heroic thing from Cole Trickle. So it kind of spun very quickly.
I can't think of a single racing movie that I've watched.
NASCAR Moncaster has left.
I can't think of a single racing movie that I watched and have enjoyed. I'm so weird. I guess Talladega Nights is like supposed to be funny. Baby Driver's not a racing movie, it's a crime movie. I have not watched Fast and the Furious until outside of the first one. I said I can't think of a single racing movie that I've watched that I've enjoyed, and dudes in the chat are like Mad Max. Yes, the racing movie of Mad Max was rather enjoyable.
Quickly, and my immediate thought was there was oil from the accident, and the oil caused him to spin like that. But why cars like lose control? It's at the end of the day, you've got a lot of horsepower in a race car and only a certain amount of grip coming from the tire, and at some point you get a breaking point where the power exceeds the grip, for example. That's where, like, as a race car driver, that's what makes, I guess, a good one is you kind of find that limit of pushing the tire and the level of grip you have to the point where you're nearly spinning, but you're in
Danny
control.
Rick is one
like
of the
crash scene was very good as far as
More
like
F1
the car
content,
rolling and you could hear kind of each impact when it rolled and flipped and then hit
Does
the
this guy
tarmac
stream on
again.
Twitch?
I mean, he rolled like it was pretty spectacular, but I don't think they overkilled it as well, so I think they did quite well with that.
Is the race done?
I mean, it's done for Cole. I'm only laughing because I know Cole pulls through and he makes sweet love to Nicole Kidman in the hospital. Up next, we got Baby Driver.
Bro, how the fuck is Baby Driver a racing movie? Is that actually considered a racing movie? Isn't it like a crime movie with driving components? Like,
Stop right there. When he reversed,
it's like car crime. What? Oh wow. Here's a movie with cars in it. Oh, that must be a racing movie. Like, what was the processing? What was the mentality of the CG editors or producers in this video? Oh, there's a car in it and it goes fast. It must be a racing movie.
versus like having some accelerator when he like drops the clutch, like keeping your revs high, so you're having some throttle when he drops the clutch. That will give him a bit of like wheel spin and enable him to probably reverse a little bit quicker without stalling. So he's playing it safe. I wish I could listen to music when I race because I reckon I'll go faster, but I got my engineer droning me out the whole time. So drifting. So you can see like what helps a drift, I guess in his case now. Like, so if you rip the handbrake up, that works on the rear wheels. We call it in racing, we call it oversteer. Turning too much that you're like catching the rear of the car. And so what the handbrake can do, and as they showed, it locks the rear. So if you turn and rip the handbrake, and it kind of keeps the front pivoted and just brings the rear around, so it brings the rear out. And then it kind of, you can already get it to that point. So then if you drop the handbrake, you're kind of already in the slide, and then you can just manage it with like your throttle. It's actually quite hard to explain, but if you can do that, like you're good. Like you've got.
Isn't he just basically describing power steering in Mario Kart? Or counter steering in Mario Kart? / also in Grand Theft Auto and in most video games?
Got a good feeling of the car.
That happens in real life? I did not know.
And it's like, I guess it's like on a motorbike, someone who does like a wheelie, a wheel stand, they get that balance point and they can feel it and just and hold that, and it's a little bit like a slide in a car. You kind of hit a little bit of a balance point and you can just play with it, a little bit of steering and throttle. You can get in like tighter spaces better if you're good. So like dodging traffic in his case, drifting's not a bad thing. Jump ahead, please. Tight turn, cut in front of the truck there or whatever. Handbrake, so a little bit of a slide, cut in. So it just like enabled him to like cut the angle by just quickly sliding the rear out, pivoting in, and the cop couldn't react quick enough. I'm not going to lie to my audience here. I've never done that, but that was pretty cool. Quick, like jerk or yank of the steering wheel, handbrake, and that's given him like a real quick slide. But then to control that, he's done pretty good. I'll give him that. I've never done it. See that? So that's like what we call a hairpin. So like a 180. If he like drove that normally, he wouldn't have been able to create or turn the car on such an acute angle.
Thank you.
What was quite cool there is because he had so much forward momentum when he's like ripped the hand.
F1 team.
So what's up? Is this fucking CGI or is this straight up like? Are we thinking this is CGI or is this like an actual real driving with a real car stunt driver?
Break. He's accelerating, but the momentum's still pushing him backwards. And then the tires find enough grip and traction, and then drive him forward. That kind of.
Also, don't say Pepega. Like a lot of this stuff is like beefed up with CGI and shit.
So still like rolling backwards and then slingshotting forward. That's pretty cool.
What is going on with the chat right now? Holy shit!
Does he have a flat tire? Not very real. Ansell's done a lot of cool shit up until now, but that's not happening. Good soundtrack. Does he have a flat tire?
I can't see because your fucking head is in the way, my guy. The way that they shot this is devastating. Imagine having a fucking Twitch streamer feature his fucking face in the reaction video prominently that you can't see the main action.
H.
That's why I put myself on the other side of the video.
Does he have a flat tire? Not very real. Ansell's done a lot of cool shit up until now, but that's not happening. Good soundtrack though. It's a good movie. He's got some good drift tires on. I doubt that Subaru is running stocks. If it did, they would be gone, or he would be having like big flat spots. So because he's ripped the handbrake so many times, like the rears are locked and they're sliding, so you're shaving rubber off one certain patch of the tire. The car would be like. That's very cool. Like the Flying V. Mighty Ducks. If I'm driving people, female or friends, I don't really, because when you drive fast.
What? Yo, weird flex, bro. In Haas mods, dude. This guy, oh, I go fucking female friends, bro. Tell you, bro, look, when I'm driving me female friends, bro, I like to get them to do the fanny flutters, bro.
Fast, actually, it can be quite uncomfortable. Like if you're cornering, like you see in the back seat, actually, John and Isa. Is it John? That's his name, right? Yeah. John and Isa, they're like, you know, getting thrown around. So it's always more comfortable for the driver because you know what move you're going to make and you've got the steering wheel kind of to hold you as well. Unless the person is prepared for you to drive fast, it's normally not that comfortable because they're like getting thrown around.
No
so I actually just focus on, first thing is make sure there's a good soundtrack, good music, and then just be smooth. Be smooth and make it just a beautiful ride, get to your destination, and then you can let loose on foot in the club. In the club. Up next, The Fast and the Furious.
This is literally the first and last Fast and the Furious movie I ever watched.
As kids, like, me and my friends would, like, take the piss out of this. Like, we loved it. It's so exaggerated, but it's so great. I love it.
Oh, I watched Tokyo Drift too.
See, for me, that was unnecessary because it didn't really make sense because he's at such a low speed already, and it kind of like the car like swerves, and for me it like actually emphasized he was going quite slow. Like it didn't really look good. That was weird, but also yeah, they take off like 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? So their reaction time was terrible. Vin Diesel there, he had it. The others
this
would
one
know
good toxicity of chat makes your day a bit better. I think
How about
you have
we
been
freeze
doing
this
so
from
great and
the
watch all
computer,
of
the
your content.
laptop.
Thank you.
So there's so many sensors on a race car, all that data you're getting will tell you, you know,
Data.
engine temperatures, how this is, how that is. It can be used for reliability, for the engineers to just check that everything's fine, and if we got a problem, for them to then quickly address it if it can be addressed. Like, I'm not kidding you, on an F1 car there's, I'm actually guessing, but I want to say there's like 1,000 sensors. Like, it's insane. NOS, so we do not have NOS. I didn't know NOS existed until I saw this beautiful movie.
LMAO, imagine being a Formula 1 driver and not even having NOS. Just put some fucking NOS in the back of your car, forehead. Then you'll beat everybody.
And then naturally, everyone wanted NOS. It was like, I didn't have my license then, but it was like, how can we get a bottle of NOS in our car? Monica! That deceleration, you feel it all on your neck. And actually, Paul showed it quite bravely when he pushed the NOS, neck went back. He needs to do neck training. Before this film, he should have had some absolute neck training. But yeah, as a race car driver, so like with F1, a lot of people talk about our neck.
What?
Like we got thick necks and G-forces. So a lot of the force, so when you brake, you get a lot of
you
like,
got a
I guess,
license for
negative
those
Gs.
female
So
friends?
everything.
Bro, that's why he has the thickest neck. Like, my man got that good neck, dude. I was wondering, like, what the fuck was going on? Turns out he's got that neck game, my guy. Crazy.
Everything's throwing you forward, so you need to support all that force and hold your neck up, basically. So we do a lot of neck training to support that. Otherwise, it's like just massive whiplash. My
Like,
heart
this
rate
is actually racing, right?
peaking right now.
Because there's
I
racing in Fast
firstly,
and
I feel
Furious.
sorry for Ja Rule. Like, Monica. It's so good. Winning's winning. Rails
Portugal
close,
news?
Pizza Boy, find on the
Okay.
way home. It's so good. Up next, Talladega Nights.
All right, you're not on fire. I knew it, you're lying. I'm burned. There is no fire.
Come back here.
Oh my God, help me, I don't want to die.
All right, so where they did it wrong, all our race gear is fireproof. Like Nomex material, I think that's what it's called, but it's a fireproof material. I haven't been in this situation, and I don't ever wish to be. But I think you can like still be on fire, but it doesn't show like the flame immediately. So like it can kind of, you could still be burning somehow. So like the marshals should have extinguished him regardless. So shame on them for letting my dear Ricky Bobby burn. Whether he was or not is, that's besides the point.
Ah! Help me, Tom Cruise!
Also, they should have contained him. He's had like head trauma from that accident. They should have let him run around like that. There's marshals around like
I'm like,
all the
this
track.
part, this is the part of every fucking like experts breakdown video that falls apart because you're like taking it too seriously. I mean, I guess it's the point, but
So I guess they would like as soon as they could, because they'll be on like some points of the track, so they could get like the quickest access, and then there'll be docks as well. As soon as like, so if docs saw it was like it looked bad, they'll go straight away, and the track would be like, there'll be yellow flags, which mean like slow down. So they would probably take the risk of just going on track as soon as they could, even if the other cars are still on. We would all slow down if we saw a big accident, so we wouldn't put the marshals in risk. But yeah, they'd go, and if there is a fire, get the extinguishers on it straight away, and try and make contact with the driver. Try to get like a thumbs up or something that A, they're conscious, and B, they're more or less okay.
But how did he get down to his underwear that fast?
Tom Cruise used the witchcraft on me to
Still
get
got his
the fire
boots on.
off me.
I loved his underpants. I want to say they were probably from like the Second World War. They looked pretty prehistoric. So race cars have what we call 5-point harness. So you have like crutch belts, which like come through your crutch, and then like they come around to your waist and all that. And his underpants were baggy. When you get the crutch ones done up tight, you want everything to be kind of streamlined. I'm not convinced those underpants he's wearing is going to keep things streamlined. So he's at risk of getting a nut caught in a belt, but he's got bigger issues right now. He's on fire.
Help me, Oprah Winfrey!
Up next is Driven. I saw this when it was at the cinemas, and I'm going very personal here. I was very uncomfortable for the last probably half hour of the movie because I didn't want to leave my seat. But for whatever reason, I think I drank too much frozen Coke or something. I had to pee so bad. Like, I was on the verge of pissing my pants during this movie. So the last half hour might be a blur.
Brandenburg is right there, ready to get past him.
I don't really get why they, like the shift and the accelerator, like getting on the throttle, like I get that people, you know, like viewers will watch that and be like, oh yeah, he's accelerating, like he's trying to go fast. I don't actually know what they had back then, because at one point in time, for sure, they had 3 pedals, so accelerator, brake, and clutch, and they had like stick shift. But for a while now, we've had, so like we lost the clutch pedal, so we've just got 2 pedals, accelerator, brake, and all the gears are on the steering wheel, so up and down shift, like paddle shift. Like the cars are real, like the cars they're showing, like one of the guys there was Chip Ganassi on the pit wall, like that's his car, the Target car, like he's a proper team owner and all that. So the cars they're showing.
Bro, what the fuck's going on with Twitch today? Like one moment I have like 30,000 people in it here, and then next moment I have like 16,000 people in here. I don't know what the fuck's happening. It's just like broken or some shit. Very weird. It literally fucking jumps like crazy.
Please stop denying the existence of Central Jersey like the imperialist North and South Jersey do.
Just banned self-review count, Andy. What? It's so weird.
A reel, but the pedals and all that are.
Yeah, I'm not doing politics today, man. Here, actually, here, I'll just give you a fucking 1 hour timeout instead of like a 1 week one.
Thanks, love you. Let's hug you.
The whole like wheel thing is, I don't know what they're trying to show. Like a quick maneuver. I guess at those speeds as well, like to turn the wheel that fast, like you have a chance of spinning because like
Danny
with that
Rick
speed
Pogo
and that
Plaza
quick,
the Grace Jean
that
crash.
quicker movement, there's a chance that you're gonna break the grip.
Brandenburg is really putting pressure on Bly. Don't overreach.
So.
Wait, the baby driver car scene was fake?
So are those puddles there? So that
Oh, it was fake, dude. Holy shit, the mood difference with me after I eat a fucking nice little breakfast burrito plus coffee versus before is fucking day and night.
you can lose traction on the car.
Absolutely.